Hey guys, I'm really excited today because I received a few packages that I've been aching to unbox, and I would like to share that with you guys. What we are going to do is I have a couple of SCUBAPRO MK25 first stages, a couple of SCUBAPRO G260 second stages. I have some gauges here, a couple of low pressure hoses, and a couple of very short high pressure hoses. What I would like to do is assemble my personal dream side mount setup as far as regulators goes. You guys may have seen in a previous video that we did the setup for the Apex WSX45 side mount harness. I've been aching to have that one. These are the regulators that for me personally make sort of my ideal setup. Now of course that's highly subjective. I would love to know in the comments what you guys prefer. You probably have different setups, or maybe you have the same. Let me know. Now, very important guys, this is not a replacement for side mount training in any way. It's not a replacement for gear servicing in any way. This is just me putting together my personal favorite side mount kit. If you are not side mount certified, you should absolutely seek training with a certified side mount instructor. Get your dive count up on side mount, make sure you're comfortable. That's the only way to learn this. But without further ado, let's have a look here. I have everything that I need as far as I'm aware, and we're just gonna assemble that. Full disclosure, I did pre-loosen a few things here and there just to sort of expedite the setup process. I don't think it's very sexy for you guys to see me, wrenching stuff together. So two boxes, pretty much the same content here, guys. This is of course our G260 second stage. I love that grill. I think that looks so good. And of course our MK25 first stage in this case. I took the cap off so you guys can have a nice look here. So that's a good start, right? Going to cut the little tag, and we need two of those, right? So that's why of course I have a second one right here. Same thing again, took the cap off, kind of a nice look there. These have not been used. These are brand new out of the box. And yeah, again, the plan is to configure these for side mount. Now, yeah guys, there's different ideas as to what the perfect side mount setup is. Some people like to have their hoses feed one from the left, one from the right. Some people wrap them around. It's not my job to tell you which one is better. Personally, I like to have them both coming around and then from the right hand side. So that's how I'm going to set this up. I guess where we'll start is, as you guys as side mount divers know, obviously we have a left side, we have a right side. So I'm designating this one right here to be my left side, and so my low pressure hose is going to come around my neck. I did get a little nice swivel here that we can install just to make sure that the hose routes nicely to the back. So as I said, I've pre-loosened this because I didn't really want to sit with wrenches here. I will obviously have to tighten this properly, and so the idea here is of course that this swivel is going to make it noticeably easier to route the hoses to the back around the neck, right? So there we go, that's loosely assembled right now, and as you can see, this makes the curve a lot nicer. Now this one I like to have on a necklace, so I have a nice rubber necklace right here which can go over the mouthpiece, and that brings us yet another step closer to having a nicely set up left stage. Second thing we want to do is, of course, we want to install some gauges right here, as well as our low pressure inflator hose, which got delivered with our side mount harness. So gauges, I just bought some standard gauges. It's not really what I intended to get. These are our low pressure inflator hoses. It's these guys. Now I don't really need the whole housing. I don't need the long high pressure hose, obviously. So we're going to have to break that out of the casing and attach to our short high pressure hose, which I have right here. So again, guys, as I mentioned, I pre-loosened these just to make sure that we can go through this at a reasonable pace. And again, this is, you know, I can use this for later, maybe for my regular back mount setup. So same here, loosen these, got the stem in there. Make sure to obviously lubricate everything properly. And then we have our little short high pressure hose right here. So that's all good. I don't really use hose protectors on these type of things. I like to see when there's even the tiniest bubbles, which I find sometimes hose protectors can conceal. So here's our second one. Excellent. So we have our two gauges. I kind of like these. They're both in bar and a PSI. That's useful. And so where are these going? That's something you have to think about for a second. So if my first stage is here, second stage around my neck, I'm probably going to want to have this mounted like so. Meaning in my personal case, some people like the gauges sticking up. I like them sticking down for streamlining. That's something you can debate again. So I'm going to install the gauge on this. In my case, the lower high pressure port. So gotta make sure that I have that right. So yeah, there we go. Again, guys, this needs proper lubrication. This needs proper tightening with a wrench. I can't say that enough. So there we go. One thing missing on our left post, in my case, is the low pressure inflator hose. I personally find this quite long for a side mount setup. This is what came with the Apex WSX 45. As we looked at in the previous video. I'll use it and we'll see where we go with this. Might purchase a shorter one down the line. So having this around our neck, there we go. Assuming that my low pressure hose leading to the second stage will go up, I'll probably want my low pressure inflator hose to be pointing down right here. So let's open up that port. If you guys notice, I'm in Honduras right now, Caribbean. It's extremely hot outside, so I'm probably sweating a lot. The things I do for you guys. So we got that low pressure port out of the way, and we can install our low pressure inflator hose. Again, proper lubrication is necessary, and of course, I'm just hand tightening this now to give us an idea of how the setup works exactly. So there we go. This should be our complete left side setup. See, I find this quite long for a side mount LPI, but okay, here we go. So that's our first set of regulators installed. Moving on now to our right post. So again, I bought the Mark 25 and the G260 as they are. So this hose is too short, right? We want to have a long hose there. So I'm going to disconnect these guys. Again, I did a sneaky pre-loosening session here, so it all goes smoothly. So again, this specific low pressure hose we won't be needing for our side mount setup anyway. And what did I get here? Let's have a look. Nice. This one is 210 centimeters long what is that? It's like 7 feet, I'm guessing. Yeah, if it's wrong, I'll just write it down here. And we're gonna install this one. So I'm really, as I said, not very big on these hose protectors. I like to see if there is some bubbling. And our long hose, again, if the regulator, the first stage, goes here, then basically anywhere on the swivel, you know, should be good. So let's install that one. Power outage. This is Honduras. We'll resume in a bit. All right, power is back, guys. So where were we? It's been like an hour and a half without power. So we have our first stage sitting like so, and we were going to install our long hose on the swivel. So that's not super complicated. There we go. We need to tighten that later. And on the other end of our long hose, we're going to install our second stage right here. So one thing that I like personally, and I think a lot of people do, it's kind of a little bit standard, is to install a clip, like a bolt snap, on the long hose second stage, so we can clip it to our harness. I'm installing a relatively small clip here, like this one. So it's not huge, right? That's because I'm diving in a little bit warmer water, so I don't need gloves. Obviously, if you dive with gloves, maybe a bigger clip, you know, could be useful. I find it annoying because it gets in the way, so I like this. But now it's time for our gauge, and again, I like it pointing down. So probably around here on this high pressure port, that looks like that will work. From here on, guys, it's a little bit up to you. I use this setup also for technical diving. So I like to have a low pressure inflator hose on my right side as well. That goes to my backup bladder. If you're using it for recreational diving, maybe you don't need that. So that's all set up right here. So now we have our two regulators set up. Like I said, I still need to tighten it all up a little bit, and then of course take it for a very, very shallow test to make sure that it's all properly functional. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you're interested, we are actually offering this exact configuration with everything you need in the SAGA store, and if you use coupon code YouTube10, then you actually get 10% off. So the link will be in the description as well as the coupon code. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Maybe you can even like the video if you liked it, right? When you subscribe, you can click on the bell icon, and that way you get notifications when we make new posts. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you again next time.